Hello there, and welcome. Let's explore some interesting news from around the world. Scientists from the World Health Organization have been trying to figure out how the COVID-19 virus started. After 4 years of research, they announced that they still don't have a final answer, and all of their ideas are still being considered. The most likely idea is that the virus jumped from an animal to a person. They think it probably came from bats and then passed through another animal before reaching humans. However, the scientists also said they cannot completely rule out the possibility of an accidental leak from a science laboratory in the city of Wuhan. This is because they did not receive important information they requested from China, such as early virus data, records from animal markets, and safety information from the labs. A little tip for you: a zoonotic spillover is the special term for when a germ, like a virus, passes from an animal to a human. This is how many diseases we know have started. In the world of space, astronomers are making exciting new discoveries. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, they are studying hundreds of galaxies to understand how the giant black holes at their centers get bigger. The newer James Webb Space Telescope has taken some truly amazing pictures, including one that looks like a golden Saturn, and another of a beautiful, phantom galaxy. This powerful telescope may have also found a new planet that is about the same size as Saturn, orbiting a young star not too far from us. By looking at many galaxies from the side, scientists are learning that the puffy, thicker part of a galaxy seems to form before the flat, thin part does. They also found 83 tiny, ancient galaxies that were making lots of stars when the universe was very young, which may have helped to light up the early cosmos. Another discovery is a young galaxy named Firefly Sparkle, which is very far away but looks surprisingly similar to our own Milky Way galaxy. Closer to home, NASA's Juno spacecraft has been taking pictures of Jupiter, even capturing 2 huge storms as they merged into one. And from the International Space Station, astronauts have taken stunning photos of the Nile and Amazon rivers on Earth, and of the Moon as the station orbited into a sunset. As a fun fact, a galaxy is a huge collection of gas, dust, and billions of stars all held together by gravity. A supermassive black hole is an incredibly dense object found at the center of most big galaxies, with gravity so strong that not even light can escape. Let's talk about people in space. An amazing astronaut named Peggy Whitson, who holds the record for the most time in space for a woman, is leading another mission to the International Space Station. This is her 5th trip there, a major milestone. Her crew includes an astronaut from Poland and another from Hungary. During this mission, another astronaut named Shubhanshu Shukla became the 634th human to ever orbit the Earth. These missions are part of a bigger plan for the future. A new private space station, called the Axiom Space Station, is being built to one day replace the International Space Station. There are also plans for future space projects with India and for building new and improved spacesuits for NASA. Experts believe that soon, sending people to the moon will become as normal as launching satellites is today. Just so you know, the International Space Station, or ISS, is like a giant science lab that has been orbiting our planet for over 2 decades, where astronauts from many countries live and work together. Here is something interesting about our minds. A new study found that people who have higher intelligence scores are usually better at predicting what will happen in the future. The researchers believe this skill helps them make better decisions and avoid costly mistakes in life. They tested this by comparing people's IQ scores with how accurately they could predict things, like economic news or events in their own lives. The results showed that those with higher IQs were more accurate. The study suggests that being intelligent is linked to better life outcomes because these individuals are better at seeing situations for what they really are, not because they take more risks. A quick note on that: an IQ, which stands for Intelligence Quotient, is a score from a test designed to measure a person's ability to reason and solve problems. It is just one of many ways to understand how a person's mind works. A group of scientists in Britain has started an exciting new project. They plan to develop the tools and knowledge needed to build human DNA completely from scratch in a lab. This project, called the Synthetic Human Genome Project, will last 5 years and is being led by a top professor in Cambridge. The goal is to learn how to write our genetic code, which could lead to huge advances in medicine in the future. As a general knowledge tip, DNA is like a recipe book found in every cell of our body. It contains all the instructions needed for a living thing to grow, live, and reproduce. In a surprising weather event, a rare winter storm brought snow to the Atacama Desert in Chile. This desert is known as the driest place on Earth, and some parts of it had not seen snow in 10 years. A famous telescope observatory in the desert, called ALMA, shared pictures of its telescope domes and the sandy dunes covered in a layer of white. While snow sometimes falls on the high mountains nearby, it was very unusual for it to snow at the lower elevation camp where the staff works. In more news about our planet, scientists have found what they believe are the oldest intact rocks on Earth. These volcanic rocks are from a place in northern Quebec, Canada, and have been dated to be about 4.16 billion years old. For a long time, scientists have debated the true age of these rocks, but new testing methods have finally provided a clear answer. This discovery is exciting because it proves that pieces of Earth's very first crust have survived since our planet's earliest and most chaotic period, known as the Hadean Eon. There have been some promising developments in the fight against cancer. One new potential drug was designed with the help of supercomputers and artificial intelligence. In early studies, it was able to stop tumors from growing without causing bad side effects. At the same time, researchers are finding that some older, common medicines might also help treat cancer. For example, some drugs originally used to treat parasites in animals have shown positive effects in some cancer patients. In one case, a man with a serious brain tumor reported that his tumor did not return after he was treated with these repurposed drugs. A little tip for you: artificial intelligence, or AI, is helping scientists in many ways, including by quickly analyzing huge amounts of data to find new patterns that could lead to new medicines. Elon Musk's company, Neuralink, is working on an amazing brain implant called BlindSight. It is designed to help people who are completely blind to see again, even if they were born blind or lost their eyes. The technology has already worked in monkeys. The company plans to start testing the vision implants in people very soon. Neuralink has already placed a different kind of brain chip, called telepathy, in 7 people. At first, BlindSight might only provide a kind of low-resolution vision, like an early video game. But in the future, the company hopes it could even provide superhuman sight, allowing people to see in different kinds of light, like infrared. For some context, a brain-computer interface is a technology that allows a person's brain to communicate directly with a computer or other external device. In a major scientific breakthrough, researchers in China have created healthy baby mice that have genetic material from 2 male parents, with no female parent involved. To do this, they used a special gene editing tool to alter the DNA from 2 sperm and then placed this material into a mouse egg that had its own DNA removed. The embryos were then placed in a surrogate mother mouse. 2 of the baby mice grew into healthy, fertile adults and were even able to have their own babies. This experiment shows that the main barrier to this kind of reproduction in mammals is a natural process called genomic imprinting. While this science is still very new and has a low success rate, it could one day offer new reproductive options for people and help save endangered animals. A social media personality from Utah named Tanner Martin sadly passed away at the age of 30 after a long battle with colon cancer. He had been diagnosed 5 years earlier and shared his journey and daily life with over 1 million followers online. He documented his treatments, his marriage, and the recent birth of his daughter, Amy Lou, who was born just a month before he passed away. Finally, the company Colgate-Palmolive has announced that it will stop selling one of its toothpastes in Brazil. The decision to pull its Colgate Total Prevenção Ativa toothpaste from the shelves came after the country's health agency investigated a large number of complaints from customers. The company is recalling any remaining products and said it made the decision out of respect for its customers and the health agency. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new and interesting today.